Hi, Maxi. Hello, Void. Welcome in. I'm here for really quick. Be back soon. Okay. Hi, Cole. Hi, Void. Hi, Prime. Welcome in. Cole, Void, Prime. Hello. Ah, yeah. Welcome in. Hello. How's your day been, guys? What you up to? Welcome in. Welcome in. I just found this song, man, and I'm gonna add this. Oh, it's already added. I just added to the favorites. Please, hi, please, hi, please. How you been, White Prime? How you been? Thank you for the 3 stream streak. Really appreciate it. I have a new game in store for today. I got it, I think, a few weeks back. But yeah, stress man, exams. Oh my god, shit. When is it? Is it tomorrow? Because I'm playing something horror, man. You might need your sleep for tonight. आज पीसी हो गया, yes. Yes. PC हो गया on. Aya, how you been? How you been, Otto? नहीं, after 2 weeks. अरे फिर then you have a lot of time, man. It's okay. You'll be able to do your stuff. मेरे को लगा कल है एग्जाम, फिर कोई दिक्कत नहीं भाई, देख आज तो गेम देख, कोई बात नहीं, फटे तो बता देना. Too much syllabus? Uh, what subject is it or what standard? Download, download. Come on, download. Natural science? Ah, I see, I see, I see. हो जाएगा भाई, don't worry. We'll be able to do it. It's okay. Don't take stress. आराम से बैठ के पढ़ते रहो, कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. ठीक है. भाई, you won't believe. I think it was my second year or first year in BBA. ठीक है. देख लेता हूँ, पढ़ाई तो बाद में होती रहेगी. चलेगा भाई, चलेगा. मेरा फर्स्ट ईयर था, आई थिंक, बीबीए में. भाई मेरा नेक्स्ट डे एग्जाम है, 5 घंटे में. ठीक है. एंड आई फाउंड अ न्यू मंगल a day before yesterday, day before then the exam day, जिसके 400 कुछ एपिसोड है. इट हैड 400 कुछ समथिंग एपिसोड्स. The day before the exam, 5 hours before the exam, I'm reading the manga. सिलेबस नहीं किया है. मंगा पढ़ रहा हूँ मैं. I think I got 98% in that. Now I'm feeling light. हाँ, टेंशन नहीं लेने का। बीबीए का एग्जाम था भाई, फर्स्ट ईयर होता ऊपर से। मैं कहा देखी जाएगी, कोई बात नहीं। हो जाएगा ये आज में। विल इट डाउनलोड? कम ऑन, हाउ मच मोर? दिस इज डन, दिस इज डन। भाई चल जाए यार। 98%। या आई थिंक फर्स्ट ईयर में ओवरऑल आई हैड 87%, 87 परसेंटाइल इन बीबीए। वो ऐसे मजे मजे में आ गई थी। उसके बाद और ढीला छोड़ दिया मैंने। मैं कहा छोड़ो, हो जाएगी ये। यार स्मार्टेस्ट, ना ना। हम्म, मैं यार अगर समझ लेता हूँ ना एक बार, फिर नहीं भूलता चीज़ें। दैट्स द थिंग। आई जस्ट नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड हाउ थिंग्स वर्क once, then I don't forget. Unless it's been like a lot of time, then I forget stuff. 2 साल हो गए एक चीज़ को समझे हुए, फिर हाँ फिर भूल जाएगा मैं। वैसे नहीं, आई डू फॉरगेट अ लॉट। आई थिंक, काश मेरे पे भी ये पावर होती। आई थिंक आई स्टडीड फॉर 3 hours on that day, and I just did like the previous year's paper. Okay, and what happened was I understood how the things work, और नेक्स्ट डे पेपर देने के बाद आई फॉरगॉट एवरीथिंग। भाई खत्म। पहले ही उसके इरादे समझ लेता तो आज कहीं और होता। ट्रू ट्रू ट्रू। भाई अब देखें ट्विच पे, क्रिएटर डैशबोर्ड खोल लेता हूँ मैं। ये रखना पड़ता है, बिट रेट चेक करना पड़ता है। कहाँ गया? इट इज इन द ग्रीन, सो इट्स ओके, आई कैन हैव इट। बट यार गाने आज इतने बढ़िया चल रहे हैं ना। आई एम लविंग द सॉन्ग्स टुनाइट यार। माई ट्विच हैड 8 notifications, जिसमें से मैंने पढ़ी हुई है वन, विच वॉज आई गॉट द बैटमैन बैच। देखें बाकी क्या है। सब एक्सपायर हो गया, ऐसा वैसा कुछ हो गया, ठीक है, ओके ओके, क्रॉस्ड एवरीथिंग। ओके चलो, वी गॉट अ हॉरर गेम टुनाइट, ठीक है। दैट्स व्हाई आई हैव द ऑल द लाइट्स टर्न्ड ऑफ, बिकॉज आई वांट टू इमर्स माई सेल्फ इन द गेम, ठीक है। Now, one thing I'm wondering is if I should like remove all the alerts so you guys can't mess with me. Alright? Yeah. It's a game called Little Nightmares where you play as a doll and try to. I'm alone at my tablet. I think the goal is to escape a huge guy. I think. Let's see the summary. Rediscover the dark, whimsical tale of Nightmare Seven Hands. But what's the tale? That's what I want to know. Hmm. Find an escape route. Yeah. So and avoid the residents. Run for your life. Same thing. That's what I said. Take on the role of Six, a lone child lost in a massive metal vessel known as the Maw, surrounded by dangerous, distorted version of adults. I see. You'll need to do your best to escape in one piece or your fate will be worse than you ever dare dream. Okay, ना बीजी में सॉन्ग चालू चालू लगेगा मैं चलेगा. I'm fine with that, man. It's my first time playing this, so let me add the tag first playthrough. You love horror? Do you know of the series Poppy Playtime? Uh-huh. Uh, I have played all the chapters except the latest one because I didn't want to buy it on the original price. And I'm not gonna lie, थर्ड चैप्टर में फटी थी मेरी. फोर्थ में इसलिए नहीं फटी क्योंकि उस वो लैग ही था थोड़ा सा. बट या आई डू लाइक हॉरर मैन. I think I've watched the Annabelle series and the whole Conjuring series, I think 5 to 10 times. Like the whole thing. You know the whole Conjuring world? I think I've watched it 7 times. Third part of Puppy was way more better. Yes, it was. Better and I would say well made. वो कैट वाले जो सीन्स थे ना, तो कैट सीन्स दे वर एक्चुअली रियली वेल मेड. Yes, yeah. Especially even with the, like, there are a lot of cat phases in that, but the best part was where you were trapped in like a maze and Catnap was trying to get closer to you. I think that part was the best part. I failed a lot in that part, to be honest. At the request of publisher, Little Nightmares Enhanced is unlisted on the Steam store and will not appear in search. Oh, good thing I bought it then. Damn, you can't even buy it anymore. Wow. Huh. Good thing I got it then. Chalo, let's start. I'll go to my left and let's game capture Little Nightmares Enhanced. I'll I'll stop the music now because I want the horror effect from game instead of just the thingy. Is it capturing? Hopefully it is. Yes. Controller support should be there, I think. Yes, it is. Controller support is there. Checking for downloadable content. Adjust the slider until the eye is barely visible. Oh, also. I'll remove the goals. And what's the Music? Yes, no music. Because we'll be just. Oh, it it already has the vibe. The eye is barely visible, right? Where's the eye? Oh, there's the eye. Hmm. Carefully by agreeing to this. Contains, among other things, an arbitration provision in the class action waiver set. Set game? Oh, yes. My bad. Little Night. Nice. Let's go. Is it done? I think the stream info should be updated now. हो जाओ भाई accept का आ जाओ. Accept. Bandai Namco. Little Nightmares accesses data periodically. Please do not quit the game if you see this. Okay.
Lizard.
Hi Trey, welcome man. How are you?
Lizard.
We are playing Little Nightmares Enhanced Edition for the first time. This is gonna be my first playthrough. And I'm not sure how long it's gonna take me. Because I'm not good with horror games. I'm gonna say this out loud. I'm not good with them. But I do like horror. Let's see. Real horror is when game and then they have based on true story. Yes. Choose your story. Start success story, start the kid's story. Which one do we want to do? Let's start with the 6 story. First one. Does the kid have like a different... This looks good on ya. What does? Oh, that's me. That's me. No? Oh no, that's not me. That is not my character. स्टार्टिंग में फाड़ दो बेचारे बच्चों की. So we are in kind of a sewer or something. Seems like a jail kind of thing. I'm reducing the quality to the lowest. Shit. Fuck. What if I don't want to use the lighter? What then? Can I burn this? Nice. Okay. Okay. In a vent somewhere. Water is still dripping down. Oh shit. Oh, okay. I was supposed to go there. Why does the staircase haunt me? Like, I feel like there's gonna be something right behind there. What's that? Found a doll. One jump scare and I'm done. Oh, you jumped even higher if you knew what slept there. Oh shit. There's some. Okay. That guy hanged himself. Can I pick the thingy? No, can't. I have a feeling something's gonna jump out of the door. Okay, that's as far as I can take it. Oh my god, there's hands on the fridge. And the footsteps, there's footsteps. Am I supposed to get on top? Yeah, I think so. What now though? Oh, I can climb this. Okay. A little bit of Assassin's Creed, but okay. Oh my god. Oh, those are slugs. Shit. I don't like insects. Push. Bye. You remember Slugterra cartoon? Yes. I do. Oh my god. Shit, run, 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 run. Run, 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 run. Run, 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 run. Run, 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 run. Oh no, 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 no. Oh no, 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 no. No, 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 no. No! Oh, they are after me. They got me. It was my favorite. I mean, yeah, the cartoon was good. This is not Slug Terror though. The slugs were cute in that. In this? Nah. Nah, man. Shit. And I can't even save myself. Ah. I wonder how many times I'll fail at this. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? Oh my god, 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 oh my god. Run, 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 run. Ah shit. I think I'm stuck. I think I'm stuck. I might be stuck. I might be stuck. Oh shit. There's more. There's more this way. There's more. Oh my god, there's more. Oh my god, there's more. Shit. Should I count? What am I supposed to do down there? Oh, that's what I was supposed to do. I see. Can I not climb this? Oh shit. 3 deaths. Don't spawn me near the slugs, man. Don't spawn me near them. Oh shit. 4. 4. Oh, I was supposed to climb this. Oh, baapre. Oh shit, no. 5 deaths. It is not me, it's the controller. It's not me. तो ये 3 तो ऐसे ही चली गई. Yes. Can I do this without the joystick? Get up. Don't tell me there are going to be slugs around here as well. Okay. Is that the door? Could be the door. I don't know. Let's check this way. There is a way. Why is game so quiet now? I have no idea. You could be right about the bad feeling, but I'm not sure. Oh, there was another way. Or is this? No, I just jumped from there, right? Yeah. I think I'll have to run. शरी आंधी से आने वाली शांति है. There has to be something I can do. Hmm. Oh, X to sprint. ये कौन बताएगा? Shit. Okay. I see. It said sprint. It didn't say jump. I know. Stuck. Oh. Oh, slide. I slid. खुल जा सिम सिम नहीं खुल रहा. Maybe I'm not powerful enough. Or maybe I was supposed to go there, but I didn't check it properly. I wanna check if I can even go there. Let's try one last time. Nope, can't go there. Can't go there. This kid got. Does he have? Does he have balls? It could be a girl as well, you know. Oh. Someone's up there. And I think we are supposed to go there. Let's see. Okay, you guys don't know. The controller is literally vibrating. Can the rat kill me? Okay, that can kill me. I'm taking my words back. 6, 6, 7. Six, 7. What now? Okay, motion sickness from this. Okay, there's something over there. Okay. If I close the door. I heard the clock. So there must be like a power timer or something on there. Oh no. What am I supposed to do from here? Oh. Oh. Never mind. I came back. Cut the power again. Run now. Get through these. I'll just go to the front and see what's up there. Oh, this is also connected to that. Okay. I see. Now I know why I could hear the things, the power things, the timer, everything. That makes sense now. And why there's a hole over here, that makes sense as well. Because there's a fucking timer on both the gates. Bhago. Get to these. Bhago, 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 bhago. Everything was a part of game's plan. Yes. Okay, that scared me. I thought something was gonna pop out of the gates. I just wanna run, man. Oh. Oh. Shit. I'm dead. I thought I made it, but I guess I was a bit behind. 8. Hi. I'm not gonna lie, my controller's gonna die anytime. Anytime now. How long is this game? I have no idea. It's my first playthrough, man. I don't know. That's good news. Come on, get the candle. Huh. He's up there. Can I bring this out? No. Can't do this as well. What am I supposed to do then? Oh, not a long jump. Oh, climb this. Let's see what's out over there. This seems like a room I don't want to be in. Oh no. I didn't like that sound. What happens if I keep doing this? Does something happen? Nay. Prince of Persia. Sand of Times. Sand of Times indeed. I'm just gonna run. Run back. Well, I got stuck. Nice. Oh no. Oh no, no, no. Fuck. I don't think I'm supposed to be there. Might as well just run. Okay. I can climb this. Let's see. Vents again. Oh, it's the rat again. Oh, something's happening. Am I hungry? I think he's hungry, no? Yeah, he's hungry. Need food. Gimme it. Oh, he gave it to me. That sound gonna make me hungry too. Thank you. Good child, thank you. Oh shit. भाई एक और फांसी का फंदा. दया कुछ तो गड़बड़ है. Oh shit. Climb up. Now where? This side? I think so. Climb up. Over here. And I think up there should be it. Yes. Like this. Those are like basically checkpoints you can get. What now though? Am I? Oh, I am supposed to climb this. Nice. Climb up again. No, not this way. Which one is it? Nope, not this. Oh, I'm supposed to demolish this. Can I even do this completely? Come on, catch up speed. Is it done? I don't think that's how it's supposed to work. Ah, shit. Fuck. Oh, never mind. Yes. Fuck. 9. It's supposed to go up. This much is certain. Let's see. Oh wait, I can't even go anywhere without that. I just noticed. Shit. No, climb up. Am I supposed to like travel on that? I think I'm supposed to travel on that. चढ़ के जाना है. Yes. Okay. ये पहले बताना था ना. ऐसे थोड़ी होता है. Oh shit, no. 10. Come this way. And now this way. Oh. चढ़ गया रे. चढ़ गया चढ़ गया चढ़ गया. Nope. Is it supposed to go even more up? I don't think it's supposed to go up, no? I think that was the height level. But then how? Need to climb the chain. Oh, yes. I forgot you would climb the chain. That I forgot. सही याद दिलाया यार. There's something in there. I can hear the shocks. I can see that the cabinet comes out. Huh. What is this? Okay, you said before you did forget things. Yeah, I can see now. Oh yeah. पूरा जोर लगा के हाइशा. No, this is not it. Huh. Maybe that's what I'm supposed to do. Not this one. This one does come out. Okay, not this one. This kid is looking like that Shakalaka wala pencil. Good job. Good job, me. I'm not gonna lie, he does look like that. Shakalaka boom boom. Ah, is it timer again? Oh, we all dreamed for that pencil in our childhood. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Where did he run off to? Am I supposed to catch that? No, I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. Shit. I might be dead. I'm dead. How, what is this? 12th? Yes, 12th. Good job, good job. Hmm, let's see. कहाँ जाना है? Where am I? Oh, I am here. Back here right now. So I was supposed to go back. What now though? I'll just have to wait. Is there something in here? No, right? If I go through here, can I climb this? No, I can't. Oh, he's not free yet. Where is he running to? Oh, he went back. So I suppose I'm supposed to go back. Why is he hiding over there? कुछ तो होगा ना इधर. Nothing in there. So I am supposed to do this. But. करना कैसे है? शर्मा रहा होगा. True. By the way, again the same question. How do you know it's a male? Go to the top. अब क्या करना है? I'm taking my words back again. इसको ऊपर तो कर ही नहीं सकता ना मैं. Can't do it like. Can't do the opposite of this. What am I supposed to do now? ये भाईजान तो stuck है यहाँ पे. Climb that rope, I guess. We can try, but I think I'll die though. See? Leh. That makes it 13th. But does this one count? Because I followed what you said. So does it count? Bro, I followed what you said, man. Yeah. अभी उसको उठा के लेके आना पड़ेगा. ए भाई आजा. Yeah, it does. Why you believe me? I don't know. I thought you were a smart guy, man. Could we climbing this? Huh. Nah, we're not smart. I think I'm supposed to go after him, but एक last time try करें. Ooh, I was supposed to catch that. No, you said climb the rope. Don't you see me right now? You said climb the rope. I was half right. Oh, there's slugs. Fuck. By the way, how's गर्मी there? बहुत ज़्यादा गर्म. Shit. I'll need to check the thingy again. How it rotates. Or how it oscillates. I think that's the correct word. Oh, it follows it. Oh shit, पकड़ा गया. Oh, बच गया. बच गया, बच गया, बच गया. No, 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 no. 14, 14, 14. Shit, नहीं 15. 15. No. 15. That is 15. My bad. I tried. Do I have to like stay down like this? See, predicting the future. Come on, 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 come on. जा भाई दूसरी साइड चला जाओ. कोल्ड वाइट XD. Ah, fuck. That one doesn't count. That one doesn't count. Number of deaths 16. What the fuck? No, 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 no. Oh. Please, no slugs, no slugs, please, no slugs. Look how the canary has flown into something. I got an achievement. Okay, till now it has not been like scary. It's been more like yuck scary. Hey, रुको ए ओए एफएस उठा नहीं रहा जितना सोचा था. Yes, I am supposed to go in there, right? It is well made. I can't see in there, so I don't know if I'm supposed to go through there. But जा नहीं रहा. It gets stuck over there. Can't even see. I'm trying to jump. That doesn't work. I think I'm supposed to go from the other side. Hello, Kawa. Welcome in. Yahoo. How are you? How's your day been? We're playing Little Nightmares. And Coldwire has the death count. I'm on death number 16. Yes, 16. Hi. It's my first time playing this. I don't know how long it's gonna take, but it's day 1. Oi, stop. How are you liking it? I would say it's not scary yet. It's yucky though, because I don't like the slugs they have in the game. What? Oh, I see it now. I think I need this. And where's the gate that needs the key? There should be a gate, no? That needs the key. Where is it? Is it this? Could be this. I'm on LN2, but haven't finished on stream yet. I'm not sure what to do right now. I don't see a keyhole. Can I go through? Is there something? I don't know. Can I? Oh! But the whole thing was a gate. Okay. I might need the key, so let's take that. Yes. Found the hole. Exact match. Let's go. Nice. Oh no. Can I throw this? Can't get up. Oh, I was supposed to throw that. Okay. Is this like an elevator they have for like food and stuff? No, just a normal elevator. Okay. How's LN2, Kawa? Is it better than this? Is it scarier? Scarier. Is that a word? I don't know. Is that more scary than this? Any tips that you might have for someone who's playing it for the first time? Maybe. I think I'm supposed to take this with me. And I see a button this way. Yes. La 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 la. Oh my god. Don't tell me there are slugs here. Oh, hungry again. Need food. Eat the slugs, man. Ah, shit. How far? How far is it? How far is it? We go. Oh no 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 no! The food's almost there. Food's almost there. We're almost there, man. Almost there. Imagine that food is something else in the inn. Oh, I'm hoping it's something else. Not gonna lie. Oh, oh, okay. I think this is where the game starts. The actual game. I mean. Oh, it's the guy from the photos. Get up. Okay, I don't have my lighter. I have it, I have it, I have it. Is it? What way is it? Got it. I mean cannibal. Yeah. I know. That's what I'm expecting it to be. Not gonna lie. I'm expecting it to be some kind of cannibalism. Oh, swing. Swing it. Swing it. Reach the next phase. Should be able to just push the whole thing, I think. No. Am I supposed to climb that? Yes. I am supposed to climb it. But to where? This way. Oh. Vent? No, no vent. Shit. Am I dead? I might be dead. Is that Kanum? Who's Kanum? Oh. That was a death. Oh, what's he gonna do? Oh shit, no! No, 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 no. Because कानून क्या है? अच्छा कानून भाई मैं एन को एम पढ़ रहा हूँ लास्ट वाले लंबे ओके I didn't read the joke properly, man. My bad. भागो 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 शिट 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 कौन फिर पकड़ा गया he's blind too कानून अंधा है भाई let's see oh. What now? Shit. What am I supposed to do? Let's try the slow approach. Oh, he just smells me. He can smell me. Is he blind? Yeah, he is blind. Oh shit. अरे इसका मतलब This time it took some time in finding me. Yes, yes. Oh, I think he's gonna go back. Go back to your work, man. Go back to your work. It's okay. You don't need to find me. It's okay. Is he hearing your footsteps? I think so. Because if that's the case, I'll just walk really, really slow. Thing is, no, 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 no. Shit. No. Fuck. I should have just run, man. I should have run. No. Oh my god. Okay, I think I have a bit of an idea. Because I'm not counting right now. Yeah, I died all those times. That counts as dying. I don't know how many that makes it. I didn't count either. Those were all deaths, man. Every time he caught us, that was death. See? He makes you into a burrito as soon as he catches you. You see the cloth on the floor. If you walk on the cloth, you don't make any noise. See? No sound. There's nothing else over here, right? Can this be any more dark? Are those shoes? Oh shit. I have a bad feeling about this room. You died 5 times, I guess. Okay. Wait, what? Hello? कुछ भी भाई, कुछ भी. हेलो. $24. Sure. Huh. So there's a big centipede inside the shoes. Now it got me. 25. 25 it is. 25, 25. Shit. What now though? 25. Got through, got through. I have a feeling I don't want to. No, 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 no. Come on, climb up, climb up, climb up, climb up. No, it's not this. Shit. There was supposed to be a monkey. I was supposed to get the monkey. Fuck. No. Okay. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Why is there no monkey? Where's the monkey? Where's the monkey? Where's the monkey gone? Hopefully he doesn't find me. Oh, he found me. I am supposed to hide there somewhere. And I think I know where. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Come on. Almost there, almost there, almost there, almost there. Up, hi there. There should be a safe spot, I think. Bro, look at his face, man. Oh. Little Nightmare is about to be 6 to 7 hours long. Oh, controller died. Why is it always that whenever I start playing, the controller wants to die on me? No path over here. He should be doing something around there. Are they real kids? I don't know. I don't think they're real. They're too small for to be real kids, no? Is there an exit around here? Hmm. Oh, I was supposed to go over there. No, no, no. Go over there. Go over there. Why is he standing right above me? भाई चला जा उस साइड. Come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on. कानून के हाथ भाई बहुत खतरनाक है कानून. ये वाला थोड़ा ज़्यादा ही है. Oh, damn. I'm scared of even the noise I made just now. Is that messing with them? Like the sounds? I think he is not allowed to come in this room. I'm supposed to climb this. Fuck, fuck. Come on, come on, come on. Okay, he's already there. Hmm. As long as I stay on the rug, he can't hear me. The floor is lava, yes. The floor is not just lava though. Oh, I need something to drop this or get this up, I think. I need that triangle thingy. Where could it be? Hmm. Can I climb these books? I can. नहीं. He hears me. He hears the wood door cracking. Hi, Knight. Welcome in. Be careful. Yes, I'm trying to be. Try shooting with Volcano. I might. What allowed? Thing is, I don't think the guns are gonna work on him. Such a perfect name. Can I throw this? I can't even throw this. How am I supposed to take this back then? Oh. No, that's not it. Okay. Think I kinda know, but I'm not sure. Let's check. Ready? Is he gonna go back? Oh, he's coming. He's coming. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Let's go, come on. Gotta run, gotta run, gotta run. What? Oh, steam does kill me. I didn't know if the steam kills me or not, but it does. It does kill you. Huh. 28. Oh. Oh shit. Nope. 29. 29. What do you mean upcoming? 29 is there, no? That was number 29. I died before you died. Oh. Hey, yo, 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 yo. पीछे नहीं जाने का. चलो, चलो, चलो. Come on, let's go. Oh shit. I fell down. Ah, I need to keep holding on. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. $31 upcoming. Shut up. No. No 31. Oh shit. Well, well, well. Come on. Make it there. Yes. 32 upcoming? No. As soon as I find out how to climb this. I think I'm supposed to catch that. $32 was upcoming, yes. Give me a sec. Let me turn the switches into linear ones. Imagine Blaze dying from Steam. I did die to Steam once though. I did die to it. I tested whether I can die from the Steam or no. No. Again, yeah. Not again. I don't want to die to the Steam again, man. Hopefully I don't. Shit, come on. Oh my god. Can I just go? Okay, there was not even any need to do the jumps. I'm not even gonna. I'm not even gonna say anything about that one. Oh, that literally. Oh, my heart, man. What am I even supposed to do with this? I did. I clipped that. Oh. Am I supposed to wait for him? Like, what's the deal with this? 34. Kanun taking advantage of their long hands, yes. चला जा भाई. Is it gonna go or is it just gonna stay? अबे एक सेकेंड. अबे लाइट गई. हेलो भाई, लाइट चली गई. हेलो. ओके, I'll reach the checkpoint and then I'll stop for tonight. फटाफट checkpoint दे दो यार. So he's here. He is here. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on. No, 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 no. Oh my god. Okay. Power is gone out, so give me a sec. कोई बात नहीं, कोई बात नहीं. फटाफट से रेड मारते हैं. रेड चैनल. Following. Uh, who's playing something good? मंजूर पे चलते हैं. Yeah, I need to hop off, man. Power's out. There's a message for you guys. Thank you for joining. Really appreciate it. Have a good night. Take care. And I'll see you on Manjubu's chat on my phone, okay? Really appreciate you guys joining, man. Take care. Good night. Bye bye.